Right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy and I am here with Davide, the second officer. How are you feeling today?
Not bad at all. Thank you very much for inviting me. Yeah,
Thank you
it's a really pleasure to be in the studio.
Yes, yeah, he likes my cabin.
I love it.
It's smaller than yours, right?
It's phenomenal. I love it. It's cozy.
Yeah, it is cozy. It's a nice cabin. It's a very nice cabin.
It's absolutely nice.
Anyway, so
Cool.
what do you do?
So I'm a second officer here. Right now I'm doing the safety engagement officer.
Okay,
which
so
is like
safety
a
officer.
it's like a training officer.
Okay.
The name might be confusing actually, but I'm in charge for training all the crew members and everybody when it comes to emergency duties and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so on Embarkation Day, that must be a really busy day for you then, because you get all the new
Let's say
hires.
Embarkation Day is one of the busiest days, yes, but because you gotta assign all of the crew members to emergency duties or not. The lucky ones go in the master duties, which are the ones without emergency duties. And then you have the ones who actually are going to take part during an emergency.
Oh my gosh.
So
as a new crew member, when you come on board, one of the first things you will learn is what your emergency duty is. So that is what you are
exactly. I'm in charge
of doing.
Yeah.
Wow. And how long are you going to be in charge of that for?
But usually I'm always on the bridge, so driving the ship. But this contract, I've been assigned to this duty, so it's going to be until the end of July.
Okay.
So I'm the Violent Lady, I'm going to do this, I'm going to perform this task. And then next vessel, maybe I'm going to go back to the bridge.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is it nerve-wracking driving a cruise ship? I mean, I realise you've done it many times, but the first few times you did it, surely you were like,
I gotta be honest, I always get that feeling.
Really?
I always get that feeling. It's never changed from the very first time. The only different is that now I know what I'm touching. I know what I'm doing.
What does this button do?
Boom, the red button, don't press boom, there you go. You always get that feeling actually. If it's like, especially if you're watching the movies, in the movies they show there's a huge, super big wheel. Wooden made, beautiful, that you have two people doing it. Actually it's a tiny joystick now.
It's just like
touch it and you move 300 meters vessel.
Okay, so is your aim to be captain?
Yeah, that's the I have the master license actually. I have the captain license already.
Oh really?
It's one of the requirements that you have to work as an officer and be a second officer, first officer. You must have a captain license already. We say that on the ship we have lots of captains, but only one is the master.
Right, okay.
So, let's say, generally speaking, from second officer and above, all of the officers have already a captain license. So it's just a matter of time and experience.
Okay. Because you have to be like in second officer position and first officer position for like a few years, is it? Or
you start the career as an officer. If you start as an officer, it's just like a cadet.
Right.
But you can even start with any other position on board. And then if you go through all the trainings, you get license and certificates, you can be promoted to a third officer, start as a deck cadet, you get promotion to third officer, second officer, first officer, safety officer, which is a first officer. And then you get deputy captain and the captain.
Wow.
So this is the career step. And there's not really a time frame, let's say.
Okay.
You can be like Captain Matt is pretty young. I'm not sure if you can say the age, but it's less than 35 or more than 33.
Okay.
I didn't say that. It's a pretty young captain, and but it really depends on the knowledges and experience and the confidence that you have. So.
Oh right, okay, that's interesting to know because I did think it was like a set amount of time that you had to be in each.
It's the amount of time is just to get the license.
Right. Okay.
You gotta have to say like if not long, 12 months as a third officer, or as a cadet. Actually, it's 12 months as a cadet.
Oh, I see. Because you're at college while you're a cadet, right?
You can do it during the college period, or you can sail after the college period. So it really changes a lot. It depends on the nationality that you're from, the country.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It changes a lot.
And can anyone be a captain in terms of from any country?
Absolutely.
Because I
yes.
think people assume that you can only be a captain of a cruise ship if you are, let's say, from a first world country.
Well, I really liked actually a comment that Virgin Voyages made on LinkedIn to was I don't remember where this guy was from. And he wanted to know if Virgin Voyages was interested in chief engineers who are from other nationalities rather than the usual ones that you see on cruise ships. And Virgin Voyages, they reply, we do not hire based on nationalities, but our hirings are based on the skills and knowledges. Bam.
Yeah.
That's it.
Amazing.
So, yes, there are not any restrictions when it comes to nationalities and stuff, as long as you have all the certificates and the C10s, experience and knowledges. So, why not?
Amazing. Okay, so Davide, can you go through a normal embarkation day for you? So what time do you get up and what time do you finish your day?
I would say that in this position, actually, I'm pretty lucky as I can manage my hours. Yeah, I have my like morning and afternoons, of course, but you know, sometimes the things might be pretty hectic, especially during embarkation days. You have crew members joining and leaving. So I would say I wake up just pretty early. To sometimes to dock the ship, to do a maneuver, or to place the ropes on the usually on the after station, so we don't fly away with the ship. And then when we get the gangways in position and we get crew members coming in and coming out, we will assign staff to assign the emergency duties and stuff. So yes, it's one of the busiest days, actually, embarkation day, and may continue until the evening. I take, of course, my breaks. Two things I must do during the day: sunsets and sunrises.
Oh, really?
I love those two moments of the day. So whatever I'm doing, I quit, I stop, and I go.
I have to see the sunset.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's my thing in the day.
Yeah, and especially if we're at sea, like, and in the Med. We're in the Med now, and some of the sunsets I've seen.
I got already sunburn yesterday being in Cadiz ashore. I got a line here. Yeah, Spanish sun doesn't forgive. I love it.
It's amazing. Okay, so what about a sea day? What do you do on a sea day?
Sea day, it's things are more regular, let's say, and it's all about trainings. So start the day, plan the trainings of the day, plan the trainings for the day after, and usually go and meet lots of crew members, lots of people, and go through trainings and refreshers of emergency duties.
Right. Okay.
I always have a couple of hours when the crew members can come to the office and ask questions if they have any doubts or get some suggestions or some comments or something that they want to do things differently, improve things. Always they're open to listen, and gotta say that it's pretty interesting when you have crew members who are more and more involved to safety. Yeah, so this is my usually day at sea. It's about trainings and trainings and trainings.
Training and training.
Trainings and trainings.
And more trainings.
And more.
Okay, and what about port days?
Port days, since in port staying, we like to everybody go ashore.
Yeah.
Have their own time, free time, well-deserved free time, I'd say. We try to minimize the trainings during those days. If we have to do trainings, we're going to do them in the very early morning of the hours.
So that they can go out after they've trained.
Exactly. Yeah. So during the port days, it's more about office jobs like paperwork and getting all the things done.
Admin.
During the admin jobs, computer.
Yeah.
Lots. I love that you have the desk so close to the bed because you can work from the bed. Exactly. You don't need to get out of the bed and get a computer.
But then that's dangerous because you fall asleep while you're doing your work.
Yeah, so port days is more about like admin jobs and stuff and assigning crew members to emergency duties, the ones who will join the ship soon after. Like now Barcelona is going to be our next port.
Right, so you have the list of crew members that are joining, and then you have to work out where you're going to put them in case the ship goes into a state of emergency.
Like playing Tetris, you know, Tetris.
Tetris, yeah.
Exactly, that's how it works.
And does that depend on department?
It depends on the position.
Yeah.
The higher you are in position, and the higher are the expectations that we have when it comes to safety. So you may be assigned to a leadership position. You may be in charge, for example, of an assembly station, which is a place where sailors and crew members gather in case of an emergency.
So what made you decide to be an officer on cruise ships?
Actually a funny story. I was supposed to go on a cruise,
Mm-hmm.
and then we couldn't. It was with my family,
Mm-hmm.
and my father got sick just during that cruise when we were supposed to cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Damn it, I want to be on a cruise." And I searched on Google. I said,
Mm-hmm.
"How to work on a cruise ship?"
Oh, really?
And I found the cruise academy. I said, "Right, go for it, apply." Yeah, that's what
Wow.
happened.
Oh my God! So you really did just like fall into it then?
Exactly. I was attending actually another school. I was doing something
Wow.
about. I was always marine science and stuff. I was like, I gotta apply for this job, but nautical science, and there I go, apply.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now you're here.
And I love it.
Wow.
I'm really glad that my father actually got sick that time.
Thanks, Dad.
It was just a normal fever. It was nothing much, but yeah. And here we go.
Oh my God! And what cruise line did you work for before this?
I've been working for Carnival Cruise Line.
Carnival. Okay.
Carnival Cruise Line, yeah. I've been there for approximately 5 years.
Right.
Before Carnival Cruise Line, I was on the cargo ships. So I started on oil tankers, bulk carriers, and then I moved to the cruise ships.
And I'm assuming the lifestyle is nicer on cruise ships?
It's absolutely different. It's totally different. Well, I wouldn't say it's the lifestyle that is, let's say, nicer. You just get more comforts. One of the biggest comfort is that the ship, it barely rolls and rock and rolls. On the cargo ships, instead, the ships may roll a lot. I remember that once we were unable to stand up. We were, we're having food in the crew mess, and the chairs were like, and it was quite fun, I would say, but we were banging from one side of the room to the other
I
one.
wouldn't like that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because I guess you've got no passengers to make it comfortable for,
exactly.
and they're going to make it as cheap as possible.
You just try to maximize the, the fuel efficiency. So it's also food is different. Here you have food. You have options you can choose.
Yeah.
If you're, for example, a vegetarian or vegan, no problems at all. You always find an option for you. On cargo ships instead, you may reach the next port, which may be even after a month, 30, 40 days of sea days, with no more food, but it's just rice and oranges and potatoes, and that's it.
Jeez.
It's different. It's a different lifestyle. I can't say that it's worse or better. It's just different.
Yeah. What do you think of the uniform? Because I'll just premise this, because like on Carnival and every other cruise line, Davide's position, he would have his stripes, the white shirt, the suit, because that's just how it is. Whereas on here, I feel like the higher up you are, the more casual the uniform.
No
a lovely white polo shirt on, grey trousers.
That's it.
Yeah.
Black shoes.
You like it?
I love it, to be honest.
Yeah? Do you miss the stripes at all?
I don't.
No?
I don't. To be honest, I don't.
Okay.
Actually, it's a totally different system. First of all, it's a conversation starter. So when you meet somebody, you don't know what that person is doing. At the end, we all know our positions, let's say. So it's not, what I like is that it's not the uniform that defines the person.
That's great.
Actually, this is, I think, what they wanted to achieve here in Virgin Voyages, to achieve here. I think that no uniform is actually much, I can't say it's better, it's just different.
Yeah.
And the environment it creates here on board of a ship, it's more, I would say,
friendly.
Interesting and friendly. That's absolutely true. It's more friendly, and
I love it. I didn't think it would make as big of a change as it has. But yeah, it really, like, everyone talks to everyone. Whereas on other ships I've worked on, there's been quite definitive segregation between. Like officers will speak to officers, crew will speak to crew, staff will speak to staff. Whereas on here, because there is no uniform, everyone just feels free to speak to each other, which is lovely.
We do not have officers' mess. We do not have officers' crew. But for example, and to be honest, I think it's fair. Usually on other cruise companies, cruise lines, you have differentiation in food. When you're an officer, when you're a crew member, ratings, or when you're a captain, like a senior leader or stuff. Here, everybody eats the same food. Everybody eats in the same places, right? And this is fair. It's not that you, as an officer, will lose, let's say, quality in food. There's salmon fillet, which is, I mean, something that you will find only in the offices.
In the officer's mess.
Sometimes not even only in the captain's mess, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so another question. What is your favourite and least favourite thing about working on a cruise ship?
Okay, so I start with my favorite, actually. My favorite is that every day you wake up in another place.
Yeah.
And every day you don't know what's going to happen during that day.
Yeah.
It's really random. You may have an emergency, you may not have an emergency, you may go to a restaurant, you may meet that person, you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite thing. It just keeps me really alive. I think that working on a ship, it's so hectic. You're always in the hustle and bustle. Let's say that it's my favorite thing. You know?
Yeah. No, that's a really good. No, I haven't heard that one before, but that's a really good one. I like that.
It's just the day. The day may have 25 hours or I don't know 5 hours. Every day is different.
Yeah. You just don't know what's coming.
You go with the flow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
My least favorite, I would say, well, not in Virgin because we have internet is free, so you get in touch with you can stay in touch with friends and family and everybody. Otherwise, if you work on cargo ships before on other cruise companies where you need to pay for internet, and a consistent part of salary goes for internet.
Yeah.
And that would be my least favorite because you can't keep really. You can't stay really in touch with your friends and family.
Yeah.
You want to talk with them. Sometimes the internet doesn't work because you are maybe in a I don't know, military area and there's no connection and stuff. So
and I must say, like on other cruise ships, when I had to purchase Wi-Fi, to save money, you would maybe purchase less Wi-Fi, and then every time you were in port, you would go out and find an internet cafe or something.
Exactly.
But that meant that you weren't spending your time exploring the place you were in. You were just spending your time sat on your phone, like catching up on what you'd missed because you had no internet. So the fact that we have internet on here means that I can spend my time and we can all spend our time exploring the ports because there's nothing to catch up on. So
absolutely. This is a big plus actually of having internet. I think I think it's considered now as a human right.
Oh, is it?
Like yeah. So it really makes sense. Yes. Otherwise, you go in places and where you want to go, and this is still happening on the cargo ships. You want to go to maybe a shopping mall where you have internet and just catch up with the stuff to load movies. So, internet is really important thing on board those ships and gives you free time where you are sure to explore other places. I mean, yesterday I got sunburned because of guys. If we didn't have internet, maybe I was in the shopping mall. El Corte Inglés. Yeah.
And how long are your contracts?
My contract is 10 weeks on, 10 weeks off only. This time I have extended my contract to 20 weeks, actually, to 5 months, or something like 5 months. And then I'm going to have maybe 10 weeks off. I'm going to do some trainings meantime. We have always to do trainings when it comes to... Yeah,
because you have to be, I guess, kept up to date on the latest... protocols and
there's protocols, also refreshers. We go through trainings when it comes to now the next one I'm gonna have is communication in between the deck and the engine during the bridge operation. So there are some standard phrases that we use to communicate. We do not use like a thousand words to say something. We just go pretty direct and concise. So we have to establish this communication, learn these communication techniques. So trainings might be really the most random trainings. Sometimes you may go and fight a fire with a real fire, wearing the firefighting.
Wow.
Or you may do stuff like
communication. Are you part of the fire team as well?
I have removed myself from the fire team.
I don't blame you, yes.
As long as you have somebody who can
do it,
cover my position. I did that. Naughty. But the safety officer told me if you want to do that, you have to say in front of everybody that you're not good enough to be a firefighter.
Really?
I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm not good enough to be a firefighter. What do I need to sign? And say that in front of YouTube, everybody. Hey, there we go. I like to be a firefighter though. It's really nice. I think I'm blushing maybe.
A little bit.
Safety officer listening. Yeah, it's nice actually. I have different jobs now. During an emergency, I'm in charge for, again, the mastering keeping track of the mastering of the ship. It means where the people are, what they're doing.
But that's a huge job to make sure that everyone's in the right place.
Yeah, it takes lots of effort, and the better is the training, and the easier it is to have everybody in the right position. So yeah.
Wow, amazing. And then, what perks do you get as an officer?
Perks as an officer depends on the first officer, second officer, third officer. Let's say that you have a single cabin, for sure. You have a single cabin.
A bigger single cabin than...
A bigger single cabin, yes.
With a window?
From second officer above, I think you have windows.
Right, okay.
Yeah, couple of beautiful windows there. Nice. And you have, I think everybody has laundry in Virgin, so it's not actually a perk that you have. I mean, the perks here in Virgin Voyages are, I would say, you do not have really lots of perks. Everybody has the same stuff.
It's just the cabin, I think. Yeah.
I think it's the cabin. You can go to a restaurant once per cruise, if I'm not wrong, or something like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because on
really...
like on other cruise lines, officers tend to have a lot more perks.
Yes.
So cabin, they have the officers' mess, which usually serves better food, as we've said. They also normally have an officers' bar.
Yeah.
On my ships, there was an officers'
bar.
bar
Yeah, some
as well.
cruise companies they have officers' bar.
Like restaurants, so some crew aren't allowed to go in passenger areas, whereas officers would be. But as you said, on Virgin Voyages, everyone's allowed to go everywhere as long as you're, like obviously you can go to a restaurant as long as you're not working. But yeah, so it's just the cabin.
Also, if you think about the family and friends cruise in some companies, only officers or managers have this perk. Let's say they can bring family and friends cruising. Yeah, everybody can bring family and friends cruising. So I don't see many perks actually being an officer in Virgin Voyages.
Okay.
Yeah. So
cool. But again, you're not losing out. It's just that everyone gets a better gig, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's been fun.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Yeah. And if you have any questions for me or Davide, please leave them in the comments and we will get back to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much.
If you want to be a firefighter, just come and take my position, please, everybody.
But thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.